Good afternoon, traders. I hope you're doing really well, and welcome to our Sunday market breakdown. So let's look at the fundamentals first. Okay, you really want to start with fundamentals every week. Monday we've got some New Zealand dollar fundamentals at around 1 a.m. Then we have the Chinese manufacturing PMIs, which is going to be crucial for yen pairs. Then we've got the GBP current accounts, which is not, it's not going to affect pound that significant. But then at the moment, with any data coming so close to Brexit, it's going to affect it. So we are going to be watching to see how pound is really affected by this currency. Then we've got the New Zealand dollar again, business confidence. Again, we might see some slight movements in New Zealand dollar. Nothing significant that will cause the economy to make significant changes in their currency. So for that reason, I don't think this is going to affect New Zealand dollar that greatly. Same with building approvals. The only thing that I think that's going to really affect the Australian dollar on Tuesday is the cash rate. Are they going to be cutting rates, or are they going to be keeping it the same? At the moment, they're expected to cut 25 basis points. But if they do, then we are going to see weakness in pairs such as Euro AUD, weakness in pairs such as GBP AUD, and weakness in pairs such as Australian dollar versus United States dollar, AUD USD. So it's important to kind of watch out for this data. Okay, I am going to be keeping my eyes closely hooked onto this because we can get some really good movements on a few of the pairs. Then we've got Canadian dollar GDP, which is going to show significant strength in USD versus Canadian dollar. We may see even spikes in oil, so watch out for that. Then we've got the United States ADP on Wednesday, which is now going to have an impact on the outcome of non-farm payroll. So the outcome of on Friday's data. So this is quite a good indicator. The higher the changes, maybe we could see a lower unemployment rate and maybe a higher non-farm employment changes. So that means the amount of jobs that are being offered to the economy, that might be significant. At the moment, looking to come in at 140. Previously was 130. Anything above 140, obviously significant strength in dollar. Crude oil inventories we have at 3 p.m. on Wednesday, and we could expect some good volatility in oil as well from that data. Apart from that, guys, I would just be keeping you guys up to date with all of this fundamentals, and watch out for what the charts have really got to offer for us. So starting everything on a weekly. Okay, so we know that Canadian dollar news is coming out on Tuesday at 1:30. The GDP is expected to contract to 0.1. However, previously was 0.2. So it's very important to see this. Anything below 0.2 is obviously going to be negative. Anything higher than 0.1 or at 0.1 still negative. Anything higher than 0.1 and higher than 0.2 is positive. Does that make sense? Anything higher than the actual forecast is positive. Anything lower than the forecast and the previous is negative. So with that being said, what can we see here? We can clearly see on a weekly time frame, Euro versus Canadian dollar. I want to go through Euro versus Canadian dollar and United States versus Canadian dollar. Euro versus Canadian dollar. What we can see is that we've had this nice uptrend that price action has been respecting for quite some years, since 2012, 2015, 2017, and here was 2019. Second quarter, which was August to September, we've had the breakout. We've had a nice breakout of this trend line, which means now price action wants to push lower. Okay. Not only did we break out of the trend line, if we get rid of all of these horizontal lines, what you can see is that price action has now also broken a weekly support. Okay. What do we know about when price actions break weekly support, monthly resistance, or monthly support? They always make their way to the next key level. So because we've broken 1.45, I do believe we are going to see a move back down to 1.40. It's just a matter of when. Okay, so on a weekly time frame, how did the candlestick close? The candlestick closed extremely bearish. So that's something to note, that we know that the candlestick has closed extremely bearish. So we do expect nothing but bearish momentum to continue to the downside. However, we do have fundamentals that's going to be coming out on Tuesday at 1:30. So we need to bear that in mind. So we need to find setups that lines up with the fundamentals in order for us to take a good trade prior to the fundamentals. Does that make sense? So let's look at it on a weekly. What can we see? We can see that price action has been in a downtrend as it's creating series of high lows. So low lows, lower highs. Okay, series of lower highs. Price action faked out, came back in, respecting it. Structure came back down again. Here we've got a series of lower highs again here. And then what happened? Price action broke structure again, another lower high. So you can see that we've got clear significant lower highs, and at the same time we've got lower lows. So lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. It's a high, but it's equal to the structure. So lower high, back down, equal lows, lower highs, consolidation, drop back down, make a new low, lower high. Now we're making a new low. Expect a lower high before continuation. Okay. So earlier the week we could get some a nice little push back up, but we need to see what price action does. So we clearly have now broken out the trend line. I've used the trend line as an area of dynamic resistance. Now we're making our way down to the downside. However, what are we seeing here? Okay, even though price action has broken the weekly support level, we're still within our support zone. Okay, price action has previously made that move to the downside and then wicked up. So we know this whole region here, price action could have just moved down to kind of fill this entire wick. So what we are seeing is there's support regions here. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be drawing a little horizontal ray at the bottom of this, I wouldn't even say at the bottom of this candlestick, I'm just going to say the middle. And the reason why I say that is because price action bounced from that region, but it also made its push to the downside up to this low and made that push back up. So anywhere between that area of potential support there, that I am going to be highlighting. So around 1.44500 level, turn it into a psychological level. That's the level I'm going to be looking for price to make that final push or maybe push back up. So using my Fibonacci tools from the daily time frame, I can look for potential move from A, B, C, D extension. Because we've got market formation and price action hadn't broken this area of support, we could either go into a period of consolidation or we could go into a period where price action pulls back to create another lower high before rolling over. So two things can occur. Price action can either revisit the supply zone here. See how it's a supply zone? Okay, price actually made that move up, came back down, but now it's used it as an area where, look, it's picked up orders and it made that move lower. So where it's been a supply zone in the past, I do believe it may come back into this area one more time and then roll over to the downside. So a move like this is what I'm looking for, because in order for price to move lower, it needs to go higher. So a move higher and then a move lower. Okay, so watch out for that. However, if we get negative data GDP, so what we could expect is in the beginning of the week, we get a move lower. So if we get a move lower, then you know it's already been priced in that the data is going to be negative. So we may get a move lower into this area and then a massive rally back out to come back either to retest the trend line or come back into this area of 1.47500 region around here. Okay, you see that key level? Price action may push itself back into this area. So keep an eye on this. I'm going to be keeping an eye on it on Monday, see how the daily candlestick closes. Probably not looking to trade on Monday just to see how a few of these setups actually play out. If there is a trading opportunity there for us. At the moment, double bottom, not looking to sell anything or looking for a price action to recover. So if it recovers, can it recover back into this these highs to make a double top formation? Okay, important. Go down to the 4 hours to see what's happening. Clearly 4 hour here, price action, it does look like it wants to push lower, but there's no legs. So it needs to go back up here. Okay, where I've already highlighted lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. Can we pop back into this area where there's a lot of supply and then come back lower? That's the move that I'm looking for. Price action here, double bottom. Again here, double bottom on a smaller time frame if you highlight it. Okay, this is how you should be going down to seeing all the price action movement. Clearly, double bottom, you see how the zone is respected. I wouldn't be looking to sell. No way. No way. Okay, it's a trap if you sell. Look at that. It's looking clearer and clearer. That price action needs to go higher before it goes lower. Okay, look how perfectly it's respected this zone. This is a 40 pip zone, 40 pip range, sorry, with the weekly key level in the middle. And look at how it's respected. Okay, so with that being said, I am going to be watching for this pair to either make that either a little push down into this region, like I said, and then push higher, and then a push lower if we get positive data. Okay, if we get negative data, then you know that push is going to continue. So let's keep our eyes on this. We could see clear pullback, break, and continuation all the way back down to 1.40. Okay, this could potentially be a swing trade for about a couple months. And I want you guys to be like, you know, fully into it before it even happens and kind of understand the reasons for why it may be happening. Okay, moving on. Let's look at United States versus Canadian dollar. So this pair, I've been watching it for a couple of days. Let's look on a weekly, how we closed. Clearly, we can see that price action has been in some sort of uptrend and now it wants to reverse. But in order for it to reverse, what does it need to do? You see the head and shoulder pattern. broken structure to the downside, but respected this here area of structure where we had previous resistance, turned it into support. But what we're getting is lower highs. Okay, it's a price action tried to create a new lower low, it couldn't create another lower high. Look at that bearish engulfing candlesticks. Look at these bearish engulfing candlesticks. Look at this from this area, massive bearish engulfing to the downside. Sorry, I'm gonna keep that range there. Picked up this range where price action was just not allowing price to be break above this high. That clearly suggests to me that price action, not only did it create see lower lows, lower highs, but price action created another lower high here with a tweezer top reversal on a weekly. Going back down to the daily, what can we see? That price action is stuck in a range. So this is called a contraction phase, where price action doesn't know where to go, so it just contracts. So when it contracts, so what you want to look for is a middle point. The middle point is where price action is likely to respect or either fake out from. Okay, so having this middle point, what it will allow you to do is allow you to understand where price action is, where smart money is. Okay, if price action fakes out to the upside, you know there's sell opportunities up here, and you know why that's happened, because institutions don't want to be selling at a lower price. They want to be selling at a high price so they can make more money. They sell at low price, their profits are limited. So they take out all the sellers early, take out all the sellers with a bullish move to the upside where this whole area is full of supply, and then make that move to the downside. So we could look for something like that. I did say on Friday, let's not take a short trade. Some people took some short trades, made about 40 pips, 50 pips. But I'm looking still for the bigger move all the way back down to 1.31, depending on also fundamentals as well this week. So we could get a spike, I believe, with this pin bar. You see it? Look at this pin bar. It's already indicating to you that it wants to go higher. So you should not be selling. Look at these market formations, double bottoms, pin bar on a 4 hour. Price action is already faked out, and now it wants to go higher. Okay, so with that being said, I'm looking at this 4 hour trend now where price action is creating that all the way up here, high highs and higher lows. Price action came down, created a low, and now it wants to resume that trend to the upside. We're using this, I told you, that expansion, the contraction phase, finding the support region within that contraction phase or the middle point, and then looking for that expansion phase, and then obviously selling it using expansion phase for the trend to start on the third phase. Okay, the market always does this. As you see, look, contraction phase, equal lows, equal highs, equal lows, equal highs, and then what happens? We get that expansion phase. So look at that, contraction, expansion, big institutions sell off, and then you get the trend. Again, contraction, expansion, sell off. Okay, you get contraction, expansion, wicks, sell off. Happens all the time. Look, contraction, expansion, sell off. Contraction, expansion, we're looking for the sell off. So that's what we want to do. I am going to be keeping you guys up to date with this as well. Okay, so keeping my eye on this pair as well. Moving on to Australian dollar, as you know, they're looking to cut rates. Look at Euro AUD. Start off with that on a weekly time frame. On a weekly time frame on Euro AUD, it's a beautiful setup, guys. I can't even stress this enough. We have a 1, 2, 3 pin to the upside. 1, 2, 3 pin to the upside on a weekly, which is our Morningstar formation. We've had a retest of a key level 1.62662. Key level, a retest, spike through, but price action is held and respected this bullish candlestick's body. Now I'm going down to the daily time frame, and I'm looking for price action to give me a formation. It's giving me a flag formation with an indecisive daily candlesticks, 2 days in fact. This is because markets knew that they are looking for price action, Australian dollars to cut rates by 25 basis points. So if that happens, we are looking to get in the trade as early as possible. I do believe we may get a final push down to this trend line. As you know, we've got this inverted head and shoulder already, shoulder, inverted head and shoulder, push to the upside. I do believe what we may get is a pullback. Hold on, let me just measure this. We may get a pullback all at 618 or 71.6, and then bounce off that trend line and make that rally up again. Okay, can we go back up to the monthly resistance at 1.66 is the question. If they cut rates, we could possibly see that rally. If they don't cut rates, then we will see price action break this trend line and make that move to the monthly support. Let's look on a daily again. Okay, on a daily, clearly can spot bullish engulfings, and bullish engulfings come back down, flag pattern, rally to the upside. It's a A, B, C, D extension. Look, use your Fibonacci tool from your A level to your B level to your C level, D, and E level. So this is the kind of trade that you want to be taking, okay? A long trade from these regions up there, okay? Putting your stops just below structure right here, and this is the best setup for us this week, I believe, okay? We could potentially be looking to risk anywhere between 50 to 40 pips. I'm looking to risk 35 pips for a potential 400 pip gain over the course of the week, maybe 2-week period, okay? If this price action plays out to the T, then we could be in for a really nice about 11% gain on our accounts, okay? I believe we could, if rates are cut, we could see a rally higher to price action to make new highs. If price actions made this formation on the daily time frame, there's a high probability we will take out this high. Look how it's been happening. Price actions have created high highs, higher lows, taken out that high, made new highs, come back higher, we got higher lows. What do you expect price action to do? Take out this high and make that move all the way back down up to 1.70. Okay, we could have a 2 to 3 week move coming up, and if that occurs, then I am looking to enjoy it and have a really long risk-free trade. Okay, so yeah, this is one of the main setups for the week. Keeping my eyes on this as well, and you guys know Euro AUD, Euro NZD move really smoothly together. So with that being said, let's look at Euro NZD. Euro NZD on a weekly time frame. Again, what do we see? Price action is looking to create a rising wedge pattern. So with the rising wedge pattern, let's just get rid of it quick. We can clearly see price is resistant this area of dynamic resistance. We've had this bearish pullback. However, price action is in an uptrend. It's in a making the highs, higher lows, new highs, higher lows, new highs, higher lows. I do believe we may see a push up all the way up to 1.180 to 1.800, or all the way back up to 1.7800 level. Okay, so I am looking at these potential levels for price action to push up. If Euro across the board pushes up, then we could see a massive rally to the upside for all of these pairs. But as you can see, we've got a head and shoulder, another shoulder, so inverted head and shoulder. And if we do break the neckline, which is this monthly resistance, price action looks good to go up higher. Okay, it looks to go higher all the way up to about 200 pips to the upside, 200 to 300 pips to the upside. So I'm keeping my eyes on this pair. Okay, I am looking for a breakout of this whole area here, break, retest, continuation, or potential double top rejection and coming back to the downside. That's the only thing that really could invalidate this trade. That if price action pushes up here, rejects, creates a double top, then we could see a move lower back into this area. But if price action breaks above, then we could see price action push all the way up to this region and then potentially retest this area and starting to trade higher as a pair to the upside throughout the next quarters of the year. Okay, we still have this region that we need to revisit, so this area that where we was about 2015. So if price action starts to make that move up, so I am looking for price action to push up to that level. Okay, there's nothing that's stopping it. You heard that the Eurozone have put in new improvement and stimulus packages in play to help the Eurozone reach its targets. If that happens, then we could, why not? Euro's going to rally to the upside and there's nothing that we could do about it but just literally join the wave and just buy the trend. Okay, trend is your friend, so trade with the trend. Going to the 4 hour, we've got a nice setup on the 4 hours. You can see the head, the shoulder now is in play. I'm looking for a market formation around here. At the moment, price action is create lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. If we could get equal double bottom, some sort of formation here, I am going to be looking for a potential buy opportunity. New Zealand dollar, I do expect it to weaken this week, depending on how fundamentals really play out. But if it doesn't, then we could see a rally to the upside. They have kept their cash rate last week at 1%. I do believe that they could potentially look to cut rates throughout the rest of the year. So if that happens, we could see weakness in New Zealand dollar. But for the time being, as I know that Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar move together really well, if I see Australian dollar rallying, we could potentially see a rally on this pair as well. Going to the hourly, what do we see on the hourly? Hourly, very nice formations. Look, 1, 2, 3, Morningstar formation, retest, pin bar, 1, 2, 3, Morningstar formation, double bottom, move to the upside. We could look for a potential buy opportunity from around these regions. A massive rally back up to the monthly resistance, about 300 pip. I'm going to keep my eyes on this range. Keep my eyes literally on this entire range. Okay, clearly see break, retest, looks like moving average looking to hold the support, and then can we have that rally to the upside? Let me see if there's a channel here that I could potentially be looking at. We've got a little trend there. Price actually come back into this region. Can we push up? So I'm going to be keeping my eyes on this as well. Okay, so try to break out the trend line. It's coming back in. Going to keep a very close eye on this. Another pair that I really wanted to look at was Australian dollar versus United States dollar. Look at this. So like I said, if rates are cut, what's going to happen to this pair? At the moment, we've got a nice downtrend. Look on the daily. Look at it. Lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower high. And then price action couldn't sustain, created a higher low. So we've got a higher low because the lows here where we're higher. So this we've got a higher low. But look at the candlestick formations on the daily. Bearish engulfing, a shooting star, inverted pin to the downside, an indecisive candlestick. Go to the 4 hour. What do we have? Look at this. You have a top, a double top with a shooting star. Look on the hourly. Okay. I know we was looking for buy opportunities, so was I. But what I'm seeing is now 1, 2, 3 to the downside, a retest, and now we're seeing bearish moves to the downside. We've got our contraction phase, where we've had the contraction phase, expansion. This is a straight sell-off. This here is a sell-off period. Looking on a 15-minute, clearly you can see price actions being sold off. So what I'm looking for is another push up, which is why my entry is as high. I'm looking for a last push up, last leg to confuse sellers and buyers. And that's when I'm looking to get into the selling position, because I'm following the trend and I'm also following the market formation. Trend lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Also double top market formation. And we've had a contraction, expansion to get buyers to think we're going higher. But then I can see the candlestick formations on a 4 hour, which is telling me that price is looking to go lower. Look at the fact that I'm looking at so many factors here. Look at the shooting star to the downside. And then we're looking at, don't be indecisive spinning top. Look at the fact that the top of this candlestick wick to the bottom of this candlestick wick, very, very close to one another. So that's our top watch for the week. Euro AUD, Euro NZD, USD CAD, Euro CAD. We're not looking at GBP pairs this week, as to the fact that there's a lot of volatilities behind it and we don't want to be losing a lot of money on them. So therefore we are staying away from GBP pairs. We are looking at gold as well. Gold to make that push lower. At the moment it's broken out of the trend. It's broken out of the 4 hour trend. Let's go to the daily. We've had this nice trend line holding to the upside. We've finally broken out. But however, we are still respecting the structure. Let me zoom in. As you can see, if I get rid of this, as you can see, we've broken out a trend, but what we're respecting is support. So I do believe we can get a retest of 1505 and then a rally back down to 1480, 1485 level. If we break 1480, we could be coming down to 1430. So the reason why all of this is happening, because China, US are coming to some sort of deal. They've signed an intermediate deal which requires China to buy US goods. So they have been buying soybeans, quite a lot of it as well. So for that reason, you know that whenever US and China make some sort of a deal, global uncertainty reduces, and then gold starts to reduce in value. Okay, so that's the only reason why we may be seeing a sell-off in gold. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the Sunday market breakdown. I am going to be doing a live with you guys some point this week, and we can discuss a lot more about this as well. If you don't understand anything, drop me a message and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Peace.